A new bar has opened in the Corner House complex in the heart of Nottingham city centre. Yes, we already have quite a fair few bars and restaurants inside and outside the Corner House. This one's different. There's arcade machines in it. It's called Tin Can Alley. Located on the top floor of the Corner House, yes, we already have an arcade in the Corner House, which is called Fun Station, but this is a little different. These are retro arcade inspired machines, and as you can see, there's plenty to choose from. Once you've paid your admission, currently set at £5, you walk through this barrier and you're greeted with all sorts of games, starting off with Pitfire. There's so many arcade cabinets here. I like how those neon glowing lights are on top of the cabinets, telling you what game it is. So that could also mean if they do decide to change the game on there, they can change that neon name as well if they wanted to. Loads of games over the ages, so you've got Final Fight there, Vendetta, WWF Superstars to name a few. But these are emulation machines as well, emulation boxes. They aren't the original arcade cabinets.
I know it's early doors, but my God in Christ, this place needs some air conditioning. Just 4 massive fans in the corner, because you know what games are like and you know how hot it gets. So I'm cooling down in there because we can only last a little while. It's so hot in there.
What I'm doing here, I'm just panning around each of the arcade cabinets. I did play them, every single game in there, gave them all a go. Most of the games worked perfectly, and most of them were set correctly as well, some of which weren't. There were some machines that had, say, instead of being player 2 button, that was a coin insert button, so even though it was a 2-player game, you couldn't play 2 players. Some of the buttons were round the wrong way round, such as 1943, the left and right were configured wrong. And on Puzzle Bubble in the corner, player 1's start button didn't work either, so you couldn't join in for player 1. That was only just a few things I noticed. Most of the arcade cabinets don't have their music playing, which is a bit of a shame. Yes, I mean, I know it's a bar, so there's going to be music in the background, but it would have been nice to hear some of the arcade audio. That being said, one of the joysticks just fell off in her hand for one of the machines, so over time I'm sure that this arcade, like many others, will just get beat up like they normally do. But with it being emulation, with it being not the original arcades themselves, it might be cheaper for them to restock if anything does get taken, damaged or broken over time. But I do like that little snug area in the background there you see. I'll show you a little bit better in detail later on. I will show in the description a full list of games that were there at the time of this filming. So we've got games like Rolling Thunder, Sunset Riders, very good arcade games there. RoboCop as well.
Some of the layouts on the cabs are a little bit odd. So I mean, you've got certain machines that had 3-player buttons available, but there was no 4-player buttons. Yet you had some of the classics of all time, like Simpsons Arcade, X-Men Arcade, the Turtles arcade machine that needed 4-player cabs. I mean, in the little snug in the back corner that you can see in the video, really they should have just had 5 machines or 4 machines instead of the 6 or 8 what they've got there, and just have these as spaced out a little bit more and have them as the 4-player cabs.
There was one thing that I didn't like about these arcades, and it was the fact that they had smoothing. So every single game had that smoothing enhancement, which I would personally turn off. It doesn't make the games look any good in my opinion. Each of the arcade cabinets as well also had tin can holsters, so where to put your tin can when you purchase it from the bar. I personally think that's quite a good idea, so it stops anything from spilling over the controls. I mean, that's not to stop people from doing that, but it's just a deterrent, hopefully, to actually ensure that the machines don't get too damaged with beer, ciders, cocktails, because they're all in cans, as the name says, Tin Can Alley. But yeah, from the bar you can buy cocktails that are in cans, ciders, soft drinks, beers and all that sort of great stuff. Nottingham did have its own alt video gaming lounge at one point. I used to spend a lot of time in there. It was very good indeed. It was more of a just pick up and play console games and PC games as well.
What I thought was a little bit disappointing was the variety of games. I mean, you don't need Pang and Pang 3, 1942 and 1943, the original crap Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2, WrestleMania and Superstars. You know, there's a few games that just repeated themselves, at least in the series, that really wasn't needed. I'm not sure if it's just me or not, but the arcades themselves felt a little bit short. Like, I'm not sure if it's just my height, but you sort of had to stretch to use the buttons and the sticks. So yeah, maybe they should have been a little bit higher, a little bit taller arcades, or even maybe some arcade stalls around some of the machines, so you can sit down and use them. That'll be easier. Or even just stalls in general around the place that you can drag along to the machine you're using if you're finding it hard to stand and play, and then you can sit and use the stalls instead. Just a side note as well, ItsMuchMore itself are not affiliated with this place at all. It's just that we're fans of gaming and fans of retro gaming and arcade, so we're excited to see a new sort of place available in Nottingham where we're based. It might not be the best in the world, it's early days, and the purists might not like many things about it, being emulation boxes and not full-on arcade machines, but, you know, it's a start, and people have got to start somewhere.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was just a quick look around the arcade itself. It's only just recently been opened as posted on this video. I'll put all the details in the description of their social page, the corner house page as well, so check it out for yourselves. Let us know in the comments what you think. Until next time, take care of yourself, all the best, bye bye.